Amelia Earhart was one of the most daring pilots in history. This was a woman who stared down engine failures, blinding storms, and the vast, empty ocean without flinching. She was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. But what if I told you the woman who conquered the skies was supposedly sent into a panic by something so common? You've probably seen one today. What's the one thing that legend says terrified this hero of aviation? The answer is so bizarre, so unexpected, it'll make you see this icon in a whole new, very human light. To really get how strange her secret fear was, you have to understand the legend. Amelia Earhart wasn't just a pilot, she was a phenomenon. In 1932, she became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, making her an international hero. She was nicknamed Lady Lindy, a symbol of modern, independent courage. She famously dismissed an earlier flight where she was just a passenger, saying she felt like just baggage, like a sack of potatoes. For Earhart, it was all about being in control and meeting challenges head-on. She had a powerful philosophy on fear. She's famous for stating, "The fears are paper tigers. You can do anything you decide to do." She believed worry was a useless emotion. When asked about the risks of her record-breaking flights, she'd calmly say that you have to decide if the goal is worth it, and if it is, you just stop worrying. This was a woman who could face a potential engine fire thousands of feet above the earth and remain icily calm. She didn't just reject personal fear, she openly criticized the fears society placed on women. She once ironically called the expectation of female timidity her favorite phobia. But behind every public hero, there are always whispers, secret footnotes that don't make it into the official biographies. While Earhart projected an image of unbreakable courage, a truly strange and kind of hilarious story has followed her legacy for years. It's a rumor about a single, peculiar weakness that highlights the delightful contrast between her public heroism and a deeply private, human quirk. What could possibly rattle a woman who flew into the face of death for fun? It wasn't heights, it wasn't storms, and it wasn't engine failure. The legend claims that Amelia Earhart, conqueror of the skies, was terrified of belly buttons. You heard that right. The whispered secret is that Earhart may have had a rare but very real condition, omphalophobia, the fear of navels. The thought of seeing or touching a belly button, her own or someone else's, was said to send her into a tailspin. Now, you won't find this in history textbooks. There are no official records or diary entries, just this persistent, bizarre piece of folklore that makes a larger-than-life figure feel suddenly, shockingly real. Can you just picture it? The woman who could navigate by the stars over a black ocean, who could patch a fuel line mid-flight, supposedly couldn't handle a trip to the beach. That contrast is what makes this so fascinating. It reframes our entire image of her. She wasn't a superhero made of steel, she was a person. A person who, if the legend is true, had a funny, bizarre, and deeply relatable weak spot. If you love stories that peel back the curtain on legendary figures and explore the secrets that textbooks leave out, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You won't want to miss what we're digging up next. So, is the belly button story true? Honestly, it almost doesn't matter, because its power is undeniable. It humanizes an icon. It's easy to look at historical figures like Amelia Earhart as untouchable statues, paragons of courage we can never live up to. But a story like this closes the gap between her time and ours. It reminds us that even the bravest people have their own paper tigers, and sometimes, those tigers are shaped like the most ridiculous, everyday things. This alleged fear doesn't diminish her accomplishments at all. If anything, it enhances them. It suggests she wasn't fearless because she was born without the ability to feel fear. She was fearless because she chose to act in spite of it. She flew across the Atlantic not because she was immune to terror, but because her will to succeed was stronger than any fear she might have had, no matter how strange. It makes her famous quote, "Courage is the price that life exacts for granting peace," feel even more profound. So, what are we left with? We have the fearless aviator who inspired millions with her daring flights and powerful words. And then we have the legend of the woman who was completely freaked out by belly buttons. The two images don't contradict each other. Instead, they create a more complete, more colorful, and far more interesting picture of who she really was. A true pioneer, a brilliant pilot, and maybe just a little bit weird like the rest of us. Amelia's secret may be a legend, but some historical figures had very real, documented phobias. You won't believe what sent Napoleon Bonaparte, one of the greatest military commanders in history, running in terror. Subscribe so you don't miss our next dive into the secret fears of the famous.